Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 11th day of July, 2024. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. I hope your families are safe and healthy. And I hope the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who are out here every day trying their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography and child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create these industries. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, children, senior citizens, families, veterans living on the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Yesterday, I got a big response from the clickbait video, and I think there is some misunderstanding. Put it that way. In fact, I know there is. And I'd like to continue this dialogue today with some clarity that I'm going to attempt to give to you, my audience. Number one, let's use an example. I'm going to use the Joker as an example because Denver is not interested in trading the Joker. I want to make that clear because I don't want anybody to misunderstand. The Denver Nuggets are not trading Nikola Jokic this year. Okay, they're not, probably forever. We can use him as an example. So let's say I did a video, and the title of the video was "The Knicks are interested in Nikola Jokic." I didn't say the Knicks were going to trade for Nikola Jokic. I said the Knicks are interested in Nikola Jokic. Okay, so I said I got a reliable source, and the Knicks are interested in Nikola Jokic. Now, you as the listener, if I'm saying to you the Knicks are interested in this player, what is your mental conclusion? What thought process do you end up with when you logically receive that? Most of the time, if I say the Knicks are interested, and I'm using the Joker, your logical conclusion would be, well, they've reached out to Denver. They're looking to trade for the Joker. That's the conclusion that most people would come to. Now, I can't say everybody, but most people, when they hear that from a platform, are saying, oh, the Knicks are interested in trading for Nikola Jokic. Otherwise, why would they be interested? And in saying it that way, I accomplish two things. I get a lot of clicks, number one. And number two, I can deny saying the Knicks are trying to trade for Nikola Jokic. I can deny it because I didn't say that. I said they were just interested. And then thereby, either I'm purposely manipulating the situation or I'm ignorantly manipulating the situation. Because the Knicks are not the Denver Nuggets are not going to trade. But I can say every team in the NBA is interested in Nikola Jokic, but they're not trading him. So let's take it a step further. Let's say I tell you the Knicks are interested in a power forward from another team. Interested, I say. Of course, you would conclude two things. First, the Knicks are trying to get a power forward. Therefore, they must get ready to trade Julius Randle because he is the starting power forward for the New York Knicks. So now, without saying the Knicks are trading Julius Randle, I just implied it by saying the Knicks are interested in a power forward from another team. This is how clickbait works. Now, let's talk about sources. Now, all of the players in the NBA have agents. The agent is looking out mostly for the financial best interest of their client because the agent gets paid based on how much money their client makes. So it behooves the agent to try to drive up the price and value of their client. agents also have access to NBA front offices. They can call a president of basketball operations. They can call a general manager, and oftentimes they're on first name basis with these people. And so they can make phone calls on behalf of their client. This happens all the time. The Knicks are one of the teams that agents use to drive up the value of their player. Why? Because the Knicks are the richest, along with the Lakers, the two richest NBA teams in the world. The two richest NBA teams in the league, okay? Their value is in the billions. So with that, I can use them as leverage by making a phone call to say the Knicks are interested in my player. Okay? And this happens all the time. It's been happening with the Knicks for decades. People have been using the Knicks. All the way back, Jordan is interested in Knicks. Goes farther than that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wants to come home. It's been going on for decades. So that it drives up the value in the bidding war on their player. So not every phone call means a trade is going to happen at all. This is why you have to have two things. Number one, reliable sources. And I've named them. We're talking about Shams, Woj, and now we're talking about Ian Begley, of course, for the Knicks particularly. And now increasingly, I keep mentioning Fred Katz because he's gaining my respect in this area. These guys will not report anything about a player on another team unless something really is going to happen. But there are a lot of people that will take a phone call and make it into a trade idea. That's clickbait. And a lot of these people have been doing it a long time. I'm not talking about somebody that may have had a channel for the last 5 years. Some people have been around for decades, writing for newspapers, and they'll put stuff like this out based on a phone call or based sometimes on just a look or a rumor. And then the imagination goes crazy. The second thing you need, aside from a reliable source, is a clear understanding of your team. Who is your general manager? Who is your president of basketball operations? What is the culture of your team? What is the goal of your team? Where in the championship spectrum is your team? At what point are they? Are they rebuilding? Are they past rebuild? Are they knocking on the door of a championship? All that will tell you what they're going to do. And let's take the Knicks as an example. The New York Knicks, again, one game from the ECF, missing 3 rotation pieces, who are all coming back healthy this coming season. The Knicks, having obtained OG Anunoby, went 14-2 with Julius Randle and OG Anunoby in the front line in January. Why would they break that up for anybody? The Knicks spent all of their available draft capital that are worth anything. Some people keep mentioning some of these picks from Detroit or Washington. If you think they're going to be worth something, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn because those teams are lottery teams. So people are using what's that plus maybe second round picks and thinking they're going to obtain a player. Look, the Knicks have spent all their available draft capital to obtain Mikal Bridges, and he's very much worth it, as I've been saying. I heard somebody say nobody knew they were going to get Mikal Bridges yesterday. I was like, wait, what? I think we've been saying this for a year. Y'all can bear witness. We've been talking about Mikal Bridges for a year. And every time I talk about no trades, I always made that one exception, except Mikal Bridges. So don't say nobody knew. And so the Knicks spent all their available draft capital to get him, not subtracting any major talent, and still obtained him. The Knicks spent $212 million on OG because why? He's worth it. And they had to. That was the market. That was below market value. Below market value for him of what was out there now. Which brings me to the third point. Market value determines the player's contract about 90% of the time. It's not based on what you think they're worth in your personal mind. What is the market value and how is that established? Other players, their age, their status in terms of years of experience, their statistics, all of that plays into what a market value is. And in case of Precious Achiuwa, two players that match his market value are Najee Marshall, $9 million per year is Najee Marshall. That's his market value. That just established the market value. And then I mentioned a player that was more expensive, but I didn't mention that to say that that's Achiuwa's value, because that player, and that was Pat Will, because of his age, he's younger than Achiuwa. He's an established starter on Chicago, and he has a lot of upside. The difference is Achiuwa is 2 years older. He's not an established starter, and while he has upside, it's not the same as Patrick Williams. Two different things. So Patrick Williams' value is higher. Achiuwa not going to get that because he's not a starter. He's coming off the bench, more like Najee Marshall, $9 million. That's the established market value. Okay, that's the established market value. So now you're talking about a value of $9 million. So if you're the agent for Precious, you're pressing Leon Rose to get $9 million a year because Najee Marshall just got that, as well as Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, same size as Precious, about the same age as Precious, about the same draft status as Precious, coming off the bench, $9 million. So now you're pressing for $9 million. Somebody asked me yesterday, well, what's the holdup in getting the deal done? That's it. Think of Emmanuel Quickley last year. Emmanuel Quickley wanted more than $100 million. I think the Don was offering something around 80. So they couldn't come to an agreement, which is why he ended up getting traded later. And for the player the Knicks really wanted, OG Anunoby. So that's probably the sticking point right now. My man is saying that it's Precious. Listen, I'm worth $9 million. Look at Najee Marshall. Look at Jalen Smith. I'm as good as them. Same status as me. I want $9 million. Y'all got $17 million in cap space in the second apron. Give me my $9 million. And the Don is like, hold on. Let's see if we can get this done cheaper. Okay. So then Walker. Somebody get upset when I say Walter. Walker Kessler is mentioned because he is a valuable, cheaper option. But the Danny Ainge is asking for 2 number ones. In fact, he turned down offers of 2 number ones. The Knicks ain't got that kind of draft capital right now. And they have to bring in less than they send out. So Walker Kessler would fit because he's $3 million. You could sign and trade Precious over there. But now that's become too rich for us because we don't have the draft capital. The Knicks cannot trade consecutive years of number ones. Only every other year. And they done did that already for Mikal Bridges, which is fine. The Knicks are now championship contenders. That's how you pull those triggers at that time. Because of Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Julius Randle, the Knicks are now championship contenders. And then, of course, you add Jalen Brunson to that mix. So now you're looking for a backup 5. But you got Precious Achiuwa who's asking for $9 million. So now what you have to do now is figure out, can I get a cheaper option? The problem is the market's dried up now. Paul Reed gone. Jonas Valanciunas gone. The market's dried up. So now you kind of stuck with Precious. So now you got to come to an agreement on some money. That's where we at. And I'm hoping we get this done quickly. Okay, I'm hoping we get it done sooner rather than later, as I've been saying. So that's the situation. But in terms of clickbait, that's clickbait. So clickbait is I don't necessarily, some people come out and say the Knicks are going to trade Julius Randle. That's pure, unadulterated, mindless clickbait. But to be more slicker about it, the Knicks are interested in Karl Anthony Towns. So somebody came on my channel and said, well, he never said he was going to trade him. You don't have to say that. You don't want to say that. You just want to imply. And especially in Knicks Nation, who takes this type of news like catnip. That's all you need is to imply. There was a phone call made. Oh, the Knicks are interested. Oh, they're going to trade Julius Randle. And then the whole Jalen Duren thing. So I'm looking at Detroit. They had Jalen Duren. They had Marvin Bagley. They had James Wiseman. Bagley and Wiseman are gone. Duren is left. They didn't draft the 5. Duren is 20 years old, supremely talented, and somebody actually thinks Detroit's going to let him go to the Knicks. You see what kind of foolishness this is? Does that make any sense? You know why? Because some people only think, well, the Knicks can just, $2 loaf of bread. We can go get Duren. We had him and we traded him and draft. We can go get him now. Come on, y'all. Come on. No, right now, we got to figure out Precious Achiuwa. That's what we got to figure out. He's looking for $9 million, probably looking for 10. But the Knicks are probably offering 7 or 8. That's probably where we at right now. Okay? Hopefully they come to an agreement and get this thing done. Other than that, that's today's message on clickbait. I should call it, in fact, I'm going to call it clickbait part 2. Y'all please enjoy your Thursday and be safe out there. So